Hey Brent, great seeing you in Austin the other day. Hey, Brent asked, when should I tell my clients to take their Social Security benefits? Hey, that's a great question, Brent, and it does vary, but in general, it's definitely best for the primary breadwinner to delay until age 70. The spouse could go earlier at 62, I got no problem with that, but I'm gonna get into specifics in step number 2 today, so hang on. Hey, if you're just joining us now to today's webinar, why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself? Use the comment box to the right and let me know, where you're from and what you're looking to gain for this webinar. All right, we got a lot of people. All right, hey Deb, Seattle, very good. Tim, Miguel from Naperville, Sam, how do you get people to believe in your message? I'm going to cover that. Ralph and Becky from Roseville, great to see you. Brent from Austin again. Michael, Redondo Beach. You want to learn better stories. Look, it's all about words, language, questions, and stories. I'm going to get into that. Jasmine, all right, from Los Angeles, good to see you. And look, my team is in Scottsdale, and they're going to be helping me answer some questions as we go. So feel free to put questions and comments in the chat box and the question box. We'll get to as many of them as we can, all right? Anna, Durango, Colorado, all right? Emily, good to see you. Oliver, Vegas, baby. Texas, yeah, Kansas City. Ricardo, go Packers, love it. Based in Montreal, new to the business, hoping to get some tips. Great, we got people from Canada, that's great. I got people all over Canada. All right, hey, great. Good to see you from San Antonio. Look, it looks like we got a really good group here, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. I want to respect your time. But I will tell you this, I've had top producers, these are top of the table producers, that said that this webinar is not just career changing, it's been life changing. So please hang with me for the full time. I got some good stuff lined up for you. So look, your time is your money, so let's use it wisely. I'm going to get into those 7 simple steps right now. And we're going to do a couple quick housekeeping things and then we'll get going. So I put countless hours of research and preparation into this body of work, and I'm excited to share it with you. And what I'd ask you to do is eliminate any distractions, close your email, close your Facebook, put your phone on silent, really take time to learn how you can better serve your customers and clients. I think it's important that you take notes, so please grab a piece of paper and a pen. And then if you've got any questions, just jot those down and save them, because at the very end, I'm going to do an in-depth question and answer session. And about 45 minutes into the presentation, I'm going to tell you about a program and a special webinar offer just for you, not only to make you a better producer, but to actually make your clients better clients. And then I'll be asking those questions. I want to be able to share as much knowledge with you as I can in the next hour or so, and I'll do my best to answer every single question. Now, if there's just one thing that I hope you take away from this presentation, it's this. Professionals have coaches, amateurs don't. Amateurs practice till they get it right, pros practice till they can't get it wrong. Look, I've written 4 books on retirement. My first book is a book by the name of Paychecks and Playchecks, and I will tell you, I'm a reluctant author. I never want to write a book. I didn't dream of writing a book. It wasn't on my bucket list. So why'd I write a book? Well, here's why. Because right now, if your clients were to ask 50 different financial advisors how to retire, you know what they're going to get? They're going to get 50 different opinions of what they ought to do. Well, guess what? Retirement's been studied in depth by PhDs all over the world. People like Dr. David Babel of Wharton, Dr. Moshe Milevsky of Toronto, Dr. Menachem Yari of Israel, most recently, Dr. Robert C. Merton, a Nobel Prize winner who was just published in the Harvard Business Review. Well, guess what? I've read their research. And you know what their research says? There are not 50 optimal ways to retire. There's really one optimal way to retire, and that's not my opinion. It's based on mathematical, scientific, and economic facts. So what I'm not going to do today is give you a bunch of my opinions. What I am going to do is share the math and science behind a successful retirement. I want to show each one of you how you should retire. Then you can take this information out to your clients and share with them how they should retire. Now, look, I travel about 200 days a year, and you can see that I'm in a beautiful tropical location because I'm on the road every day, so I'm doing this webinar while I'm on the road. But that reminded me of something, and that's really the basis of Paychecks and Playchecks. If I had to summarize Paychecks and Playchecks, I'd summarize it this way. What day of the week do you spend the most money? What day of the week you go golfing, you go to Home Depot, get your nails done, get your hair done? Why don't you put in your chat box what day of the week that is? Yeah, that's right. It's Saturday. Well, guess what? The day you retire, every day is Saturday. Every day is Saturday. See, you're not just going to need to have paychecks. I would argue you're going to need to have some playchecks so you can actually enjoy your retirement. See, I'm going to talk a lot today about why so many people are not enjoying their retirements. Many people are actually miserable in retirement. I'm going to share with you why that's happening and what you can do differently to make sure you and your clients enjoy theirs. Now, I gave the Paychecks and Playchecks talk down in San Diego about 4 years ago at a big industry meeting, and there was somebody there from PBS, public television, and they said, Tom, we need to take this message out to the American people, but we don't think they're really going to understand this paycheck and playcheck thing. We would need a simpler title. So guess what? I wrote another book. It's called Don't Worry, Retire Happy. And this is now played on public television in over 72 million homes in the US and Canada. I hope you saw it. If you didn't, it's okay. You're going to get it live right now. So here are the 7 simple steps I've shared with the American people on how to retire happy and successful based on math and science, not based on some stockbroker's opinion. Step number 1, you got to have a plan. How can you get anywhere if you don't have a roadmap or a plan of how to get there? And with this, I say they've got to work with a financial professional. Retirement is not a do-it-yourself project. Step number 2, I would encourage you to help your clients maximize their Social Security benefits. Do you realize for most of your clients, Social Security is the largest retirement asset they have? And yet people spend more time planning their summer vacation than learning how to maximize those valuable benefits. I'm going to share with you today some words and language you can use with your clients to help them better maximize their Social Security benefits. Step number 3, consider a hybrid retirement. See, too many people are trying to retire too early. They haven't saved enough money. And if we could get our clients to work just a couple extra years, even part-time, we can increase their success in retirement significantly. Step number 4, you've got to have a plan to protect yourself against inflation. See, inflation is like a virus. It gets worse over time. I'll share with you some ideas around that. Step number 5 is a big one. I'm going to spend some time there. They need to secure more guaranteed lifetime income. See, you're going to hear me say this a lot today, but the success of their retirement is not about their assets. It is not about their assets. It is not about their assets. The success of their retirement, the success of your retirement is going to have everything to do with income. And I think I'm going to prove to everybody on this webinar, guaranteed lifetime income. Step number 6 is another big one. You must have a plan for long-term care. No retirement plan is complete without a plan for long-term care. My guess is that in your book of business, this is the number 1 thing that has not been taken care of that can wipe out your client's entire life's work. We're going to talk about it. Step number 7, use your home equity wisely. For many of your clients, their house is one of the largest assets they have. I'll give you some ideas around that. And then I'm going to wrap up with the most efficient way to pass wealth to your children, grandchildren, and charities. You're going to hear me say this: don't leave your kids any money. Don't leave your kids any money. I want you and your clients to spend your money. I want you to leave your children life insurance, because you can do that for pennies on the dollar. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'll try to be very efficient, but again, I would encourage you to take some notes. Step number 1, you got to have a plan. The Hartford puts it this way: those who plan for retirement are 3 times more likely to be confident they will have sufficient income retirement as compared to those who've not planned. And here's why. The diagram on the left is the way your parents, for some of you, your grandparents retired. The diagram on the right is the way you're going to retire. Very different pictures. If you think about it, most of your parents or grandparents worked for the same company for 30 or 40 years. When they retired, the company held a retirement party, presented them with a shiny gold watch, and a guaranteed paycheck every single month for the rest of their lives in the form of a pension. They got a very generous Social Security program where they got far more money out than what they ever put in. And if you think about it, most of your parents and grandparents didn't save up a lot of money. You know why? Because they didn't have to. They never talked about their retirement, that they'd saved $100,000 or $200,000 or $500,000. They always communicated their retirement in terms of income. We get $2,000 a month. We get $3,000 a month. Do you understand? Retirement has always been communicated in terms of income, not assets. But now compare that to your retirement. Many of you will get little or no pension. You will get Social Security. I'm clear in all of my books. Everyone watching this webinar, yes, even you millennials, will get Social Security. I could literally fix Social Security in less than 15 minutes for the next 100 years. Social Security will be a relatively easy fix. Medicare, Medicaid, healthcare, not an easy fix. And if you've noticed what's been happening with Social Security, your clients aren't getting a lot of raises, not because there's a problem with Social Security, but because Medicare premiums have exploded to the upside and those dollars are taken out of Social Security. So you may not get as much Social Security as you're counting on, not because we have a problem with Social Security, but because we have a problem with healthcare in this country. So your retirement, your client's retirement is really going to depend on how much money they're able to save. But here's the problem. I think people know how to save money, they know how to invest, they know how to diversify. But what Americans are not very good at is turning their assets into income. See, you don't get to retire on assets. What you get to retire on is income. And Americans are not very good at turning assets into income, and I know I'm going to help you with that. Now, one other thing. A lot of people think this is a knowledge business. I got news for you. This is not a knowledge business anymore. You give me an iPad, the internet, 15 minutes, I can figure out anything I need to figure out. This is now a words business. This is a language business. This is a questions business. And this is a stories business. You want to increase your production? Work on your words, work on your language, work on your questions, and work on your stories. And if you stick to the end of this presentation, I'm going to show you the very best way to work on those skills. I'm going to show you the language and the questions and the best way to convey your stories to your clients to get real results. Remember, professionals have coaches, amateurs don't. But what I have to show you is much more than just coaching. It will actually make your clients better clients too. But we'll talk about that more in a few minutes. Now, when you're sitting down with your clients, there's a couple questions you need to help them with right out the gate. Question number one, what do I need my retirement income to do? And question number two, what do I want my retirement income to do? Now, why don't you jot down in the text box what you think your clients need their retirement income to do? Go ahead. If you think about it, what we need our retirement income to do is the same for all of us. It needs to cover our basic living expenses, our food, our housing, our clothing, our cell phone, our internet. I call that the paycheck. And what math and science literally demands, it says those paychecks should be covered with guaranteed lifetime income. So that is not where stocks fit, that is not where bonds fit, that is not where managed money fits, that is not where real estate fits. That's where guaranteed lifetime income fits to at least cover basic living expenses. But then what do I want my retirement income to do? That's the paycheck. That's the travel, that's the cruises, that's the fun stuff, and those other products fit fine right there. But you know what? If the truth were told, many of your clients are not fully enjoying their retirements. And you've all got clients like this. They're in their 60s, they're in their 70s, they got plenty of money. They don't even touch it. You know, when I was an advisor, I used to bust my clients. I'd say, now, wait a minute. You told me when you retired, you're going to join the country club. You're going to buy a new boat. You're going to take a cruise. You're going to see the world. Have you done that yet? You know what most of your clients say? No, we haven't done that yet. You know why? Because just in case, interest rates are so low, you know, the stock market's been so volatile, Bitcoin just crashed. They're living what I call a just-in-case retirement. And here's what it looks like. They don't touch their money, and they don't touch their money, and they don't touch their money, and they don't touch their money. Then they die. What happens to money? Goes to kids. What do the kids do with it? They join the country club, they buy a new boat, they go on a cruise, and they see the world. Look, don't laugh. This is happening all over the country. And what I want to make clear today is this. I want you and your clients to join the country club. I want you and your clients to see the world. I do not want you and your clients to live a just-in-case retirement. And in step number 5, I'm going to show you exactly how you and your clients can avoid living that just-in-case retirement. Step number 2, understand and maximize your Social Security benefits. If I'd ask you, what is the largest retirement asset most of your clients have? You think it's their pension? Oh, no, now it's their 401k. Oh, it's their house? Or is it their Social Security benefit? For the vast majority of your clients, it's their Social Security benefit. Do you realize if you're single, your Social Security benefit can pay over $500,000. If you're married, it can pay you well over $1 million. Yet people spend more time planning their summer vacation than learning how to maximize those valuable benefits. Now, I realize most of you are experts in Social Security maximization, so I'm not going to sit here and try to train you on that. But I bet that most of your customers aren't experts at Social Security maximization. So imagine if there was a way to train them before they came into your office. If there was a way to give your clients the gift of knowledge and security about their financial futures. If you had the ability to improve your customers' lives through better understanding of their financial situation, would you give it to them? If you would you put a roll of dollar signs in the chat box? And by the way, if you stick around to the end of this presentation, I'm not only going to show you how to improve your words, language, questions, and stories, I'm going to show you a truly unique way to give your clients the gift of knowledge and training when it comes to their finances. And look, I've been doing this for a long time. Smarter clients are better clients. So these are some of the words and language that I use to help clients understand Social Security maximization. See, right now, the full retirement age, that's what FRA stands for. Whenever you see FRA and Social Security, full retirement age is age 66. And for every $1,000 a month that your clients get at age 66, if they claim their benefit early at age 62, they're not going to get $1,000 a month. They're only going to get $750 a month. But if we could get them to wait just a few more years to age 70, they're also not going to get $1,000 a month. They're going to get $1,320 a month. So let me pull those two out. $750, $1,320, $750, $1,320, $750, $1,320, and I didn't put cost of living in there. Now here's something you don't know about me. I love Waffle House restaurants. Look, I don't know, I will even drive out of my way to eat at a Waffle House. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to Waffle House at 6 a.m. If you've never been, you got to go. Something special happens. Hey, by the way, if you've ever been to Waffle House, would you just type waffle in the chat box to let me know that? Because I want to know if you like Waffle House too. But if you've never been there, go at 6 a.m. It's loaded with wise men. And if you don't have a Waffle House, I know you got a local coffee shop. Well, at 6 a.m., all the wise men from the city come and sit around and drink coffee, solving the world's problems. And if you walk in there and ask the wise men, hey, what age should I draw my Social Security benefits? You know what they'll tell you? 62. Haven't been reading the papers? This place is going broke. Get the getting while the getting's good. 62, 62, 62. That's the Waffle House answer. That's the coffee shop answer. Is that the right answer? That is not the right answer. So what is the right answer? Here is the right answer. In general, the breadwinner should delay. Let me say it again. In general, the breadwinner should delay. Now, why do I say in general? Because everybody's different. You got to look at health status, medical condition. Sometimes there's minor children in the home. You have to start your benefits to get those benefits. Some people take it early, they invest it, they say they can do better. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is everybody taking it at 62 because our buddy down at the coffee shop told him to take it at age 62. So here's all I'm asking. Before your clients make the number one most important retirement decision of their life, which I would argue is their Social Security start date, run a Social Security calculator for them. Show them what the benefit is if they take it early. Show them what it is if they delay. Show them how this can impact their retirement by hundreds of thousands of dollars. All I want them to do is make an educated, not a Waffle House decision, an educated decision on the most important retirement decision of their life, which is their Social Security start date. Step number 3, consider a hybrid retirement. As I said, too many people are trying to retire too early. They haven't saved enough money. I think George Burns put it best. He said, retirement at 65 is ridiculous. When I was 65, I still had pimples. Look, if we could get our clients just to work a couple extra years, even part-time, we can increase their success in retirement. You know why? Because they can have increased savings, increased earnings, increased Social Security benefits, and we can keep them from tapping into that portfolio for a few years. If they're already retired, I want you to know math and science supports them getting a part-time job if they want to. Any extra revenue they bring in can increase their success in retirement. Step number 4, you've got to have a plan to protect yourself against inflation. Inflation is like a virus, it gets worse over time, and this shows $10,000 of purchasing power at 4% inflation. After 20 years, it'll be cut by more than 50%. Over 30 years, it'll be cut by more than 2/3. So look, you don't just want to plan to have income to age 100 and beyond. You want to plan to have increasing income to age 100 and beyond. So look, this is where stocks fit. This is where mutual funds fit. This is where managed money fits. This is where real estate fits. You can build a portfolio that if we get inflation, the portfolio will go up. But I want you to know you can also protect yourself against inflation without using any risk products. You need to know that I've already bought guaranteed lifetime income that will kick in when I turn age 60. But I bought even more that kicks in when I turn age 65. I bought even more that kicks in when I turn age 70. I bought even more that kicks in when I turn age 75. I got 11 of them. And I'll probably have 25 or 30 of them before I shut this thing down because, look, I've been studying retirement now for over 30 years. And here's what I've learned about retirement. Retirement is really all about 2 simple components. Component number 1 is increasing income for the rest of your life, and component number 2 is risk management, taking key retirement risks off the table. And we're going to cover both of those in step number 5. You need to secure more guaranteed lifetime income. Time magazine puts it this way: securing at least a base level of lifetime income should be every retiree's priority, at least if they want to live happily ever after. And I will tell you, that lines up with what the PhDs who study retirement say, that as a minimum, you should be covering your basic living expenses in retirement with guaranteed lifetime income. Now, there are 3 sources of guaranteed lifetime income. The first source is Social Security. Well, what is Social Security? Social Security is a lifetime income annuity. It's a guaranteed paycheck for life. The second source is a pension. But let me ask you a question. What is a pension? It's a lifetime income annuity. It's a guaranteed paycheck for life. And what the PhDs who study retirement say is, as a minimum, you should be covering your basic living expenses in retirement with guaranteed lifetime income. So Social Security counts and pension counts. But whatever you're short, you know what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to go find an insurance company and buy a lifetime income annuity. Now look, I speak all over the world. I recently got back from a trip to China and Thailand and Singapore because they're worried about retirement over there as well. But it's not at all unusual when I'm doing a seminar, especially if it's a large seminar, that somebody might raise their hand and say, Tom, we don't like annuities around here. Susie Orman doesn't like annuities. Dave Ramsey doesn't like annuities. Ken Fisher takes out full-page ads. I hate annuities, and so should you. We don't like annuities around here. You know what I do? I just act surprised. And by the way, has that ever happened to you? If that's ever happened to you, would you just type yes in the chat box? If it's happened to you in the future, just act surprised like I do. I say, really? Seriously? You don't like annuities? So let me understand what you just said. You paid into Social Security for 35 years, but you're going to call up the Social Security Administration and say, stop those checks. No more nasty Social Security checks in this house. We don't like annuities. Are you seriously going to do that? You worked for that company for 42 years, but you're going to call up the HR department and say, stop those pension checks. I don't want to find another one of those nasty buggers in the mailbox. We don't like annuities in this house. Well, typically what the clients will do is they'll say this. They'll say, well, I guess we like those kind of annuities. It's just those insurance company annuities we don't like. I say, really? And why is that? Well, because they're all loaded with fees and everything. Really? Does anybody know what the total ongoing fees in a lifetime income annuity even are? 0. It's not even a fee product. It's called a spread product. If you're guaranteed $1,000 a month for the rest of your life, guess how much will hit your bank account every month for the rest of your life? $1,000 a month. Now, I've had people say, Tom, that's not exactly true. I read the policy. There's a one-time $300 policy fee in there. That's already in the $1,000 a month. There are zero ongoing fees in a lifetime income annuity. 0. Now, there are annuities that do have fees. Variable annuities have fees. Some income riders on indexed annuities have fees. That doesn't mean they're bad. It means you have to weigh out what is the fee versus what is the guarantee. Remember, the reason there's a fee is because they got guarantees that mutual funds and ETFs don't have. So you got to weigh out what is the fee versus what is the guarantee. But for our purposes on this webinar, I want everyone to know you can buy and sell guaranteed lifetime income that's not even in a fee product. Look, everybody thinks retirement's so complicated. Do you know the more I study retirement, the simpler and simpler and simpler it gets? In fact, let me make each of your retirements as simple as I can. The ultimate success of your client's retirement is going to depend on the answers to my next 2 questions. And I'm not going to ask you how big their 401k is or do they have a fancy house. You know why? Because the success of your retirement is not about your assets. It is not about your assets. Now, think about this. This is a paradigm shift. You know what your clients have been taught their entire lives? The same thing I was taught. That our retirement is going to depend on this pile of money. And the bigger our piles of money, the better our retirements will be. Well, that's not true. Your assets can be lost, they can be stolen, they can be swindled, they can be sued, they can be divorced, they can be decimated by a market crash or wiped out by long-term care. In fact, for many of your clients, their assets are simply numbers on a piece of paper. Think about it. Their 401k, that's numbers on a piece of paper. Their bank account, that's numbers on a piece of paper. Their brokerage account, that's numbers on a piece of paper. And did you know for the rest of their lives, there's only 2 things, only 2 they will ever do with those numbers on that piece of paper. They're either going to spend that money or they're going to give that money. Think about it. That's all they're ever going to do. That's all you're ever going to do. You're either going to spend it or you're going to give it. You're either going to give it when you're alive or more likely you're going to give it when you die. Because I got news for you. You don't get to take any of it with you. It's all going to stay down here. So when you really study the math and science behind a successful retirement, it really comes down to your answers to these 2 questions. Question number 1, how much guaranteed lifetime income do you have? how much guaranteed lifetime income? Do you notice I didn't ask you what was your rate of return on your investments last year? Did you outperform the S&P 500? No. Far more important, how much guaranteed lifetime income do you have? And question number 2, have you taken the key retirement risks off the table? See, your answers to those 2 questions will determine the ultimate success of each and every one of your retirements. Now look, there's a lot of risks in retirement. There's market risk, we've seen that. There's withdrawal rate risk, you can take out too much money, you can run out of money. There's this thing called sequence of returns risk. I'm telling you, your clients do not understand sequence of returns risk. Sequence of returns risk is why the stock market has averaged over 12% a year since 1924. But if you're retired and you have money in the stock market, you can't take out 12% a year. You can't take out 10% a year. You can't take out 8% a year. You can't take out 6% a year. You can't even take out 4% a year. Do you know what Morningstar says a safe withdrawal rate of retirement is? 2.8% per year. Oh, Tom, come on, that doesn't even make any sense. If the market has averaged over 12% a year since 1924, certainly I can take out more than 2.8. No, you can't. And here's why. Because the day you retire, all the rules change. See, average returns mean nothing in retirement, absolutely nothing. Once you retire, there's only one thing that matters, and that's called the order or sequence of returns. Look, in my book, Paychecks and Playchecks, I give an example of a guy who retired in 1973. For the next 22 years, he averaged 10.1% a year for 22 years. Hey, if somebody gave you 10.1% a year for the first 22 years of your retirement, I'll bet everyone on this webinar, including me, would take that right now. 10.1% for 22 years. His broker told him he could take out 5% per year. Now, come on. If you average 10.1% a year for 22 years, you can certainly take out 5%, right? Wrong. He's dead broke. Completely ran out of money. Now, you tell me, how can you average 10.1% a year for 22 years, only take out 5 and go dead broke? It happens all the time. You know what happened to this guy? Does anybody remember what happened back to the stock market in 1973, 74, 75? The market went down, down, down 3 years in a row. See, here's the deal. If it's your turn to retire and you have your money in a diversified portfolio and you're taking your retirement out of there, and the first 3 years of your retirement, the market goes down, 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 it is highly likely that you too will likely run out of money. It's called sequence of returns risk. But look, that's part of what we do. We help educate our clients so they can make the best decisions about their retirement. So we nudge them in the right direction. But wouldn't you agree that it would be so much easier to nudge if we educated an excited client? Look, I get it. We're busy people. We've got busy days, busy schedules. Well, we're going to talk to you about how you can serve your clients better than you would believe possible in just a few minutes. So please, just stick with me. There's a lot of risks in retirement, but there's only one number one risk. So which of those risks do you think is the number one risk? Would you just jot that in the chat box? Which of those risks do you think is the number one risk in retirement? Well, guess what? It's longevity risk. Why is longevity risk the number one risk? Because it's not just a risk, it's a risk multiplier of all the other risks. And so what the PhDs who study retirement, and they are nearly unanimous in saying this, if you want to retire optimally, you must take longevity risk off the table. In fact, if you get nothing else out of my first 30 minutes, would you get that? You must take longevity risk off the table. Well, guess what? Stocks can't do that. Bonds can't do that. Mutual funds can't do that. Managed money can't do that. Real estate cannot do it. Okay, well, what can do it? It's a pretty short list. A lifetime income annuity can do it. A deferred income annuity can do it. Or an income or withdrawal benefit rider from a fixed, indexed, or variable annuity can do it. That is it. What do all those products have in common? One word: annuity. What the PhDs who study retirement say is this: to retire optimally, you must put an annuity into that portfolio. Why? Because only an annuity can take longevity risk off the table. Why? Because only a life insurance company can issue an annuity. Why? Because only a life insurance company sells life insurance to be on the other side of that risk. Look, let me try to make this as simple as I can. What is the risk to the insurance company when you sell a life insurance policy? What's the risk? That somebody dies, and they die right away. You sell $1 million term policy, you proudly turn in a check for $25, the next day, bam, that guy gets hit by a bus. The insurance company's out $1 million. The guy died too soon. Hey, what's the risk to the insurance company when you sell a lifetime income annuity? That somebody lives too long. She's 115 and she won't quit breathing, and every month she's breathing, those checks gotta go. Do you understand? Because in insurance companies on both sides of the mortality and longevity risk scale, they're the only ones that can protect people from dying too soon or living too long. Look, on my first trip to Singapore about 4 years ago, the day before I spoke, I got interviewed by Asia Insurance Review. It's a big magazine. And they said, Tom, we've been reading your material and we're very concerned about U.S. life insurance companies that are selling these guaranteed paychecks for life. I said, really? They said, yes. I said, why is that? They said, well, because we believe medical technology is developing so rapidly that soon people are going to live to be 100, 110, 120, maybe even 130 years of age. And if these companies are guaranteeing paychecks for life, they're all going to go broke. And I just smiled and I said, well, you got it half right. I mean, you're right. They will be paying a lot of lifetime income, but guess what? They won't be paying any death claims on all those life insurance policies they wrote. Do you understand? Because the life insurance companies on both sides of the mortality and longevity risk scale, they can neutralize mortality and longevity risk to themselves and to your clients. See, when you put your money into a lifetime income annuity, it is a personal pension-like stream of guaranteed lifetime income, a guaranteed paycheck, but I would argue so much more powerfully, a guaranteed playcheck. Do you understand why so many of your clients are not enjoying their retirements? Because they got assets and interest rates are at 50-year lows. Now they've been losing money in stocks. They're losing money in Bitcoin. These people are miserable. Assets make people miserable in retirement. See, what makes people happy is guaranteed lifetime income. Look, I've talked to you about math, I've talked to you about science, I've talked to you about economics. I want to talk to you for a minute about psychonomics. Psychonomics. See, you got something from your company every 2 weeks for your entire working career, and you were happy when it came in. What was that called? Yeah, a paycheck. And what did you do with most of your paycheck? Not all, but most of it when it came in. You spent it. You paid for your house, you paid for your car, you went on trips, you bought stuff. You got and spent a paycheck every 2 weeks for your entire working career. You had no problem doing that. When was the last time you raided your 401k? When was the last time you took a bunch of money out of your bank account or your brokerage account? Oh, we can't do that. We've got to protect it. We got to save it. We got to grow it. We can't touch it. We got to protect it. We got to save it. We got to grow it. We can't touch it. Okay, you do that for 45 years. You honestly think you're going to wake up on your 65th birthday and say, by golly, I'm going to blow my 401k today? You can't do it. Your clients cannot spend their assets. Nobody can. They've been programmed for 45 years not to touch those assets, and most of your clients will go to their graves never touching their assets. This is why the PhDs who study retirement say, as a minimum, you should take a portion. I've never said take all. Take a portion of those assets and turn those into guaranteed paychecks and playchecks, because you will spend those and you will enjoy those. And it's the spending of money that actually allows you to enjoy your retirement. Look, if all you're going to do is live on your assets, you're going to be miserable because you're always going to be worried about losing it, spending too much money. That is not a happy retirement. A happy retirement really requires that those guaranteed paychecks and playchecks, because you will spend those and you'll never run out of money. And what I'm telling you is you don't have to give up anything. Look at those guaranteed payout rates. Your broker can't give you rates like that. Your banker can't give you rates like that, but life insurance companies pay those rates every single day. Now, let me be clear. Those are not interest rates. Those are guaranteed payout rates. See, every check you get from an insurance company is composed of 3 parts. Part number 1 is principal. Anybody can give you principal. Part number 2 is interest. Anybody can give you interest. But part number 3 is the secret sauce that you can only get from a life insurance company. You can't get this from stocks or bonds or real estate. That in paychecks and playchecks I called mortality credits, and in Don't Worry, Retire Happy I call longevity credits. It's the same thing. It's extra money from the risk pool the older you are and the longer you live. And what math and science says is that if any of you, right now, any of you have a portfolio and you don't have any longevity credits in that portfolio, math and science will prove that your portfolio is suboptimal, less than what it could or what it should be. So now I get people who say, well, Tom, what the heck are these longevity credits? Okay, I got a simple story for you. Every year, there were 5 90-year-old ladies who went on vacation. One year, one lady said, hey, let's each put $100 in this mason jar. We'll seal up the jar, and next year when we go on vacation, we'll bring the jar with us, and those of us who are still alive, we'll open the jar and we'll split the money. They said, Helen, that is a great idea. So you got 5 90-year-old ladies, they each put $100 in the jar, that's $500. They sealed up the jar. What do you think happened the next year? They forgot where they put the jar. No, I'm just making that one up. No, unfortunately, one lady's died. So now 4 ladies open up the jar. They split the $500. They each get $125. Now that was a 25% rate of return in 12 months. No money in the market, no interest rate. How do they get paid 25%? Because they got paid longevity credits. So the ladies look at this, they look at their brokerage account, and they said, hey, this is a pretty good deal. I'm going to put it back in the jar, seal it back up, and do it again. So they decided to let it ride. The next year, one more lady died. Now 3 ladies split the $500. They each get $167. That was a 67% return in 2 years. No money in the market, no interest rate. Why? Because they got paid longevity credits. Now I know what you're thinking. Somebody's out there thinking, well, but Tom, I don't want my money to disappear when I die. I got kids, I got grandkids. Hey, if you buy a lifetime income annuity, you got to buy one where the money disappears when you die? No, the check could continue your spouse, or it could continue your daughter, or it could continue your grandson. These things can pay for 100 years. All lifetime income annuities pay longevity credits. The older you are, the longer you live, the fewer guarantees, the more these credits you get paid. Let me show it to you graphically. Every check you get from an insurance company is composed of 3 parts. Part number 1 is principal, that's the orange box. Part number 2 is interest, that's the gray box. But part number 3 is the longevity credits. Only a life insurance company can manufacture longevity credits. Now look, I've given this presentation thousands of times all over the world, so I know for a fact that on this webinar we still have a doubter or two. You still don't believe me. So guess what? I'm going to give you a chance to prove me wrong, and you can be a hero amongst your peers. It's a very simple challenge. Here's all you have to do. Either you or your broker put together a portfolio you think I cannot beat. Oh, he'll never beat this one. We're going to put all the good stocks in there. Yeah, you build that portfolio. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reach into your portfolio. I'm going to remove some of your stocks. I'm going to replace them with a lifetime income annuity. Do you know what that'll do to every single one of your portfolios? It'll lower the risk and increase the returns. If you don't believe me, prove me wrong. But here's why you can't. Inside of a portfolio, the way that guaranteed lifetime income functions, it functions like a AAA rated bond with a triple C rated yield with 0 standard deviation. So let's go back to the challenge. You build a portfolio you think I cannot beat. I'm going to remove some of your bonds. I'm going to replace them with a AAA rated bond with a triple C rated yield with 0 standard deviation. What will that do to every single portfolio? It'll lower the risk and increase the returns. You see, Tommy's not making this stuff up. These are mathematical, scientific, and economic facts. Now, math and science is very important to me. I travel the world teaching people how to retire. It better be right. I mean, think about it. I've been on PBS in 72 million homes. Golly, I sure hope it's correct. But you know what? For your clients, there's something way more important than math and science. I call it the happy factor. So let me ask you a question. When you retire, do you want to be happy or unhappy? Would you just tell me in the chat box, do you want to be happy or unhappy? I ask this question at every seminar, and people go to me and go, happy. And I say, well, you didn't sound like it. Do you want to be happy or unhappy? Then go happy. And I said, well, if you really want to be happy, the Wall Street Journal discovered the secret. Take a look at this. The secret to a happier retirement is friends, neighbors, and a fixed annuity. See, the Wall Street Journal studied who are the happiest people in retirement. You know what they found? People surrounded by their friends, surrounded by their families, who had guaranteed paychecks every single month. Let me ask you a question. Who are your happiest clients? I'll bet it's retired military, retired government, retired teacher, retired professor. It's people with pensions. See, study after study after study has shown people with pensions are much happier in retirement than people who don't have pensions. Do you understand happiness in retirement is tied almost 100% to guaranteed lifetime income, not assets? Who are the most miserable people you know? They're loaded. They got assets out the wazoo, but they're losing money in stocks. They're losing money in Bitcoin. They're losing money in all these different investments. These people are miserable. Assets make people miserable in retirement. What makes people happy is guaranteed lifetime income. Look, if you still don't believe me, look what Time Magazine found in Great Britain. Lifetime income stream key to retirement happiness. A new study in a land of grumps reveals that retirees with a guaranteed lifetime income stream can find true happiness. And if you still don't believe me, when we end this webinar, feel free to Google Towers Watson and annuities and retirement happiness. They wrote a whole white paper on it. They're not even in the insurance industry. They studied all retirees, old retirees, young retirees, rich retirees, poor retirees. You know what they found? All retirees were happier if they had guaranteed lifetime income. Look, let me tell you a little story about my own family. I grew up in a small town in Minnesota. Both my parents were teachers. If you know anything about teachers in small towns, they don't make much money. I grew up in a lower middle class family. We had all the necessities. We did not have luxuries. I had jobs. I had a paper route. I mowed lawns. I shoveled snow. I baled hay. If I want a new baseball glove, guess what? I bought it. If I want a new bicycle, guess what? I bought it. If I wanted to go to a Twins game or a Vikings game or a North Stars game or a Harlem Globetrotters game, you know what I had to do? I had to sell more subscriptions to the Minneapolis Star and Tribune is what I had to do, and I did. I earned all those trips. My parents didn't have a lot of money, but my parents had pensions. My wife's parents were business owners. They made a lot more money than my parents ever did, but they had no pensions. So fast forward 60 years. My parents are in their 80s. Her parents are in their 90s. Do you know, not one single day in my life, not once, have my parents expressed a concern about running out of money. They don't even think about it. They got checks coming in every single month. They never worry about running out of money. Do you know every conversation with my wife's parents are running out of money? Well, they ran out of money. Do you know why? Because they planned to live to life expectancy, which at the time was age 76. She's 92. He died last year at age 95. What is the difference between those two halves of my own family? One half had guaranteed paychecks for life and the other one did not. I cannot stress enough to every single person on this webinar that you secure guaranteed lifetime income and you recommend it to all of your clients. Number one, for the ultimate success of their retirement. Number two, if they want to be happy in retirement. And number three, I'll give you a bonus if you want to live longer. Look, some of you follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn, and if you don't, you sure can. I post a lot of neat stuff on retirement. I recently posted a Freakonomics study. It's actually a University of Chicago study. Freakonomics picked up and I pushed it out through social media. It was a University of Chicago study that studied people who bought lifetime income annuities versus people who didn't. You know what they found? The group that bought the income annuities lived longer than the group that didn't. I just read an article in the Journal of Financial Service Professionals that said a 65-year-old male can expect to live 20% longer if they have a lifetime income annuity than if they don't. That's significant. Now, the article said many reasons why it happens. I'm going to have you read that article, and I would carry that article with you, all right? But look, this is nothing new. Many of you had to read a book in high school or college. It was called Sense and Sensibility. It was written by Jane Austen in 1811. Does anybody happen to remember what Jane Austen wrote about annuities in the book Sense and Sensibility back in 1811? Let me refresh your memory from chapter 2. If you observe, people always live forever when there's an annuity to be paid to them. The annuity is a very serious business. It comes over and over every year, and there is no getting rid of it. She wrote that in 1811. Step number 6, you must have a plan for long-term care. No retirement plan is complete without a plan for long-term care. As I said, my guess is in your book of business, this is the number one thing that has not been taken care of that can wipe out your client's entire life's work. Look, in Paychecks and Playchecks, I got a chapter on long-term care. You know what it's called? It's called What's Your Plan? What's your plan? Because if you've ever heard me speak before, you know I brag about my plan. What's my plan? I never have to go to a nursing home ever. I get to stay in my house till the day I die. The nurse has to come to me and I get to pick the nurse. You know why? Because I got a plan. I've got long-term care insurance with home health care. I get to stay in my house. So when people say, I don't want that nursing home insurance, I say exactly, this is anti-nursing home insurance. This is stay-at-home insurance. This is stay-in-control insurance. When people say, yeah, but that long-term care insurance is just too expensive, here's what I say. If you think long-term care insurance is too expensive, try not having it. That'll wipe you out. Look, I made my parents buy long-term care insurance 16 years ago. They didn't want to. It's too expensive. We'll never need it. It's an insurance company ripoff. My dad said all those words to me. I made them buy it. They are now both in assisted living. $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month. I can't imagine their retirements if they didn't have those policies. All right. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to retire and why. See, a lot of people think retirement's going to be 30 or 40 years of golf, tennis, cruises, and line dancing. That's not true. You're going to go through 3 distinct phases. Let me go through them right now. Phase number 1 is what I call the go-go years. Now, the go-go years, you're playing golf, you're playing tennis, you're going on cruises, you're line dancing every day. It's happy hour somewhere. That's the go-go years. But make no mistake about it, the go-go years are going to be followed by the slow-go years. Now, the slow-go years, you can still do everything in the go-go. You just don't want to anymore. In fact, you don't want to go downtown after 4:30 because Dad can't see when it's dark out. That's the slow-go years. And the slow-go years are going to be followed by the no-go years. Now, the no-go years are those years when you're probably not leaving the building till you're leaving the building, if you know what I'm talking about. So we got go-go, slow-go, no-go. This is what I have learned watching my parents go through these phases. I have learned that the go-go years is all about income. not assets, income, which is why 100% of my purchases are going for income in my go-go years. Now, I define my go-go years as age 60 to 80. You pick your own, but watching my parents, age 60 to 80, I'm literally buying as much income as I can buy. Now, this income goes for the rest of my life. But I'll be honest, I'm not taking inflation protection on all of it. Some of it, but not all of it. You know why? Because I don't necessarily want to have a bunch of income when I'm 117. I want to have a bunch of income between 60 and 80 when I can do something with it. The go-go years is all about income. The slow-go years, that's all about long-term care. Here's what I say about long-term care. Any plan is better than no plan, but you gotta have a plan. So I sincerely hope you buy long-term care insurance, but if you don't buy long-term care insurance, I hope you buy life insurance with a long-term care rider or an annuity with a long-term care rider. Any plan is better than no plan, but you gotta have a plan. And the no-go years, that's all about life insurance. Now I've had people say, Tom, life insurance has nothing to do with retirement. No. Life insurance has everything to do with retirement. Do you understand? It's the life insurance you bring into retirement that gives you the license to spend your money. Do you want to know why so many of your friends are not enjoying their retirements? Because in the back of their mind, they think they got to leave their kids some money. Oh, we got to leave some money, Johnny and Susie. We got to leave some money, Johnny and Susie. So they're denying themselves a retirement to leave money to their kids. What do I say about that? Don't do that. I don't want you to leave any money to your kids. I want you to spend your money. I want you to leave your kids life insurance. Let me use me as an example. So we've got 4 kids. So one day we're sitting around saying, hey, how much money should we leave the kids? I don't know, what do you think? I said, well, if we bought a $1 million second to die life insurance policy, when we're both gone, they're gonna get $1 million tax-free. That's $250,000 a piece. Let's start there. So we bought a $1 million second to die life insurance policy, named the 4 kids the beneficiary. That policy is completely paid up. Do you know what the total cost of that policy was? $150,000. So now think about that. For 15 cents on the dollar, we get to transfer $1 million tax-free to our kids. Who gets to spend all the rest of the money? We do. Now, I was going to talk to you a little bit more about your kids, but the more of these webinars and seminars I do, I find a whole bunch of people don't even like their kids anymore. So I skip right to the grandchildren because I know they still love them. And I tell people, don't leave your grandchildren any money either. And here's why. We sat down with Annie. Annie was 62. She had 6 grandchildren. She had $100,000 down in the bank. She said, Tom, it's not earning much. I don't care. I don't need this money. This is my just-in-case money. I named my 6 grandchildren as beneficiary, and when I die, they're each going to get a little over $16,000. Well, that's a nice grandma. But if that's her just-in-case money, why did she have it in the bank? Why didn't she have it in a life insurance policy? She could still get her money out. In fact, many of these senior policies have full money-back guarantees, so she could get her money out, but when she dies, each grandchild gets $36,000 instead of $16,000. Don't leave your grandchildren money, leave them life insurance because you can leave them so much more. What about charitable giving? You know, you work with a lot of generous people. I'll introduce you to 2 very generous people. Here's Al and Helen. They're very generous. They tithe to their church. They give their university. They saved up $50,000 they want to give to charity, but when they started talking about it, they each want to give $50,000. Well, how do you give $100,000 to charity if all you saved up was $50,000? You put in a life insurance policy. It will immediately create $100,000 of gifting power. You want to leave more money to charity? Don't leave them money. Leave them life insurance because you can leave them so much more. What about protecting Social Security benefits? Here, the husband gets $2,000 a month. The wife gets $1,000 a month. What happens when he dies? Well, she gets his. What happens to hers? It's gone. So what happens to her income? Her income goes down. What happens to her taxes? It goes up. They were filing joint, now she has to file single. So her income goes down, her taxes go up. What could have protected her from this? Life insurance. We need to talk to people about life insurance. Here's a little factoid for you. People over the age of 60 buy a lot more life insurance than people under the age of 60. So we need to be talking to our older clients about life insurance. If they've got any money that they want to go to their spouse, their children, their grandchildren, or charity, the very best way to do that is with life insurance. Step number 7, use your home equity wisely. For many of your clients, their house is one of the largest assets they have. There are basically 3 ways to use their home equity wisely. Number 1, they can sell the home and downsize and move to Arizona. Here's what I want you to know. When they sell that home, if they're single, they can capture up to $250,000 tax-free in capital gains. If they're married, they can capture up to $500,000 tax-free in capital gains, and that can certainly help a retirement. You can take a loan against the equity, or you can do a reverse mortgage. Now, let me tell you where I come down on reverse mortgages, both in the TV show and in the book. Here's what I say. I am not for reverse mortgages, but I'm not against reverse mortgages. They are a tool that can be used in retirement. But number 1, be very, very, very careful. And number 2, work with a reverse mortgage expert. All right, look, I think you need someone to help balance out the equation, because you got people out there like Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey and Ken Fisher out there telling people, oh no, don't get annuities. Annuities are bad. Don't do life insurance. Don't do annuities. Don't do long-term care insurance. And they're telling you why they hate these products, but they have their own agendas. But wouldn't it be great if your prospects, your very best customers, the people in your community, your family, the people that you want to have as clients, the people that you want to have a happy retirement, what if they knew the things that you just learned? All right? And what if they felt as confident as you do right now after having watched this webinar? Well, you see, that's why we created Tom Hegna On Demand, to balance out the equation. Not just to have the three horsemen of the annuity apocalypse talking to them why these things are bad, they're evil, they're no good. I mean, imagine what would happen if I sat down with one of your clients who was understandably nervous and confused about purchasing an annuity or life insurance. Imagine, just do this for me. Imagine someone you care about. Imagine someone you know who you would love to see have a beautiful and happy retirement. Who is that person for you? For me, it's my mom. Look, I can see it. There we are around the kitchen table, morning coming in through the shades, the smell of coffee and toast. She's putting in 2 sugars and a splash of cream. For you, it could be someone from your community, someone from your church. It doesn't matter. Just imagine someone who you would love to have a happy retirement sitting there around the kitchen table with you. There we are. It's you, it's them, and it's me. And we're having a nice morning cup of coffee, and I'm able to break down this story for them. The story I just told you in the most simple terms, backed by math and science, on the facts of how to have a happy retirement. Wouldn't that be incredible? Well, I agree, it would be incredible. And I'm certain that when I'm finished sharing my stories with them, they'd be just like you right now. I need some life insurance. I need an annuity. I need some long-term care insurance. I need to transfer my wealth using life insurance. Can you please help me? And even though you and I both know it would work to have me there, and then it would change the client's life, the fact is, it's physically not possible. I can't be everywhere every day. Organizations and top producers pay me $15,000 a day to bring me to speak on stage, plus travel, plus maybe even flowers for my wife because I'm gone a lot. So here's the good news. I can teach you. I can give you the words, the language, the questions, the stories, and help train you to become like me, sitting across the table from your client. I can show you how to communicate this story in a way that will have your client feeling just like you're feeling right now. But at the same time, wouldn't it be great to have some backup? To have an uninterested third party, somebody who doesn't get paid for selling products, maybe an economist, maybe a best-selling author to help present those facts and give you some third-party validation? Well, I thought so too. And so while it's not realistic for you to pay $15,000 to bring me out every time to sit down at the kitchen table for a client, I mean, if you had 100 client meetings, that's what, $1.5 million. No one's going to pay $1.5 million to have me in a room with 100 people. But it would be great if they did. I mean, I'd take the money, but it's not realistic, and I'm not asking you to do that. So then I thought about, what could you do? So we came up with a program that would allow me to get in front of every single one of your clients, your best customers, when you feel you need me, in real time, on demand, and share the information that they need to get excited about retiring happy. You select who they are, and I'll get in front of them, and I'll share this powerful message with them, and they'll be able to understand it. See, we developed Tom Hegna On Demand in a way that not only teaches you the words, the language, the stories, and the techniques to become one of the top producers in the industry, but also as a powerful client education tool. So now I can educate your clients about balancing risk. I can ease your clients' anxieties and misconceptions about annuities and life insurance. I can be there day and night, anytime you need me, with information that will help them sleep easy, feel confident, and be happy in their retirement journey with you. Can you imagine what that's going to look like when you have clients have a third-party validation of a best-selling economist to help balance out the other side of the Daves and the Susies and the Kens gloom and doom annuity scenario? So we built a year-long program designed to do just that. We've designed this year-long program to not only continually train you with the best words, language, questions, and stories to become a top producer, but also to educate and empower your clients on their schedule. And there's no limit. So whether you have 100 clients a year or 1,000, you can send each and every one of them to me, and I will educate them, all right, through this program as many times as they need to feel comfortable. There's no limit. So over the course of the year, I'm going to help you develop your clients. Not only that, when you come up against the inevitable client stalls, the objections, and I want to think about it, I'm not sure, oh, I need to talk to my wife, I need to pray about it, whatever objections they might be, guess what? I've decided I can help you with that too. So I've made a part of the program a powerful presentation and objection handling tool. See, your clients have vastly different needs. An 85-year-old widow has radically different needs when it comes to retirement than a 65-year-old married couple or a 45 couple or a couple that's newlywed at age 25. Part of the platform is there to help you in those situations. So let's say you get to an appointment early. You get on your iPhone, you go to Tom Hagnon On Demand, you hit Client Coach, a video me pops up. I say, tell me more about this appointment. Is your client single or married? You click single. How old is this person? She's 72. Once you hit those two buttons, a video me pops up. Okay, so you're going on an appointment with a 72-year-old widow. Here's going to be her concerns. Here's the products you're probably going to use. Here's the questions you should ask her. Here's going to be her objections. Here's how I would handle those objections. And I coach you before you go on that appointment. The next day you're going on an appointment, it's a 45-year-old married couple. You hit married 45, a video me pops up, and I train you very differently than I did the day before for the 72-year-old widow, all right? So trust me, I know as an agent, we're out there a lot of times on our own, and I don't want you to be out there alone. I've essentially downloaded my entire brain onto this program, so use it. Use my over 30 years of experience in this business. I've studied this, okay? And this program normally sells for $1,500 a year, but look, I get it. We've all got business to run. Cash flow's tight. Some of you are brand new. You don't have $1,500. Okay, the fact is $1,500 is a decent sized check, and I don't want you to have to pay that. I also don't want you to have to pay $15,000 plus travel for me to come to do it. So here's what I'm going to do. Because you watched all the way through this webinar, I'm going to give you access to my training, all my training, coaching, and client education. You can rotate as many clients through as well. So you got training for you, you got coaching, you got client education. I'll give it all to you for $150, okay? $150. That's for the first month, okay? And I'm going to prove to you that this works. I will prove to you that I can educate every client you throw at me. And because I'm so confident that you're going to get business out of this and that you're going to want to keep it, all right, the next month I'm not going to charge you $150 a month. I'm only going to charge you $97 a month. And that's all it's ever going to be, every month, forever, until you cancel it. You can cancel it any time. There's no contract. There's no limit. So $150 the first month, $97 a month thereafter. You can cancel whenever you want. But because you went through this whole program, there's a couple other things that I'm going to do for you. Number one, I think books are very important, all right? Books play a critical role. Not only do you need to read them and study them, there's charts, there's graphs, but you can use them with your clients as well. You can have them read it so that they're not only watching, but they're reading it, because the more senses, watch, listen, read, the more senses that get involved, the more powerful it is. So I'm going to give you 3 of my books, Paychecks and Playchecks. That was my first book, signature book. Don't Worry, Retire Happy. That's the message I kind of just delivered to you today. And then I'm going to give you Retirement Income Master, Secrets of the Pros. So you're going to get all 3 of those books. That's a $75 value, which makes it even more valuable, but $75, I'm going to just throw that in, all right? But I'm not going to stop there. Look, I'm a big believer in audiobooks. When I was a brand new advisor, I didn't know nothing. I was recruited. I was a company commander out of Fort Ord, California, 7th Infantry Division. I got recruited by MetLife. I said, okay, I'm going to Met, but I didn't want to stay in California, so I moved to Arizona, didn't know a single person, didn't know nothing about nothing. I made $1 Million Roundtable my first year. I led my office of production every year. Now, how did I do that? Well, every day I got up and I watched VHS tapes. I listened to audiobooks of the top producers in the industry, all right? And so I'm a big believer in audiobooks. So I'm going to throw in the 3 audiobooks. So you're not only going to get the 3 printed books, but you're going to get the 3 audiobooks. And that's about $100 value there, $105 value for the audiobooks. But now, when you're driving from appointment to appointment, instead of listening to the radio, listen to that. And all of those books come with an MP3 disc that you can load into all of your mobile devices. So now you can listen when you're working out, when you're hiking, when you're biking, when you're doing anything, and you should be, because you're not going to get the words, language, questions, and stories by reading a book once or by watching a webinar. Why do you think the Army had me take apart and put together my weapon 4,000 times? I think I figured it out after 6 or 8 times, but see, after 6 or 8 times, you know it up here. After 4,000 times, you know it down here. How do you get stuff down here? Through repetition. You've got to listen to things over and over and over. Look, now, my staff told me I should stop there, but you know what I'm going to do? Remember that PBS TV special that's played in 72 million homes? Well, I've got a DVD of that TV special. That's over 30, I think on Amazon we sell for $39 or something like that. I'm gonna throw that in there. So now you're gonna get all 3 books, all 3 audiobooks, and the DVD. So now you can watch it over and over again. So now you can listen to it, you can watch it, you can read it, all right? And if you want, you can play that DVD to your clients. We have people who make movie night. They put it in a bucket of popcorn with 2 Cokes and candy, and they make movie night for their client. A guy made top of the table for one of the major companies, and he just has me make the presentation. The people come in and they're buying life insurance, annuities, and long-term care, all right? So you can do that. So I'm throwing in all of that for you, all right? And you can rotate an unlimited number of clients through there. Once I've proven to you, you got 30 days to try this out, and if you don't like it, you can cancel. But once I've proven it, next month it goes down to $97, and you can choose to have me with you every single step of the way. I promise you, if you use this system, you will make way more than $97 every month, and I will more than pay for myself many, many times over. See, the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. It's not stocks, it's not bonds, it's real estate. The best investment you will ever make is an investment in yourself and an investment in your clients. So what I want you to do right now is click on that button right there, that buy button on the right-hand side. Just click on that buy now button, add it to your cart. Remember this, professionals have coaches, amateurs don't. Let me be your coach. Amateurs practice till they get it right, pros practice till they can't get it wrong. Okay, so now if you've got questions, if you're thinking about it, if you're not sure yet, I want to open it up to questions. So I'm going to answer any question you have, whether it's about the offer, the product, something we talked about earlier on the on the webinar, whatever it is. I'm here to answer your questions. There's no better time to take care of yourself right now. No better investment than you can make than an investment in yourself. All right. Wouldn't it be glad to have that shortcut? You know, you can try to climb to the top as fast as you want, but you want to know what? I can get you there faster. I can be that shortcut for you, all right? And if you're one of those experienced agents, you've been in the business for 30 or 40 years, you know all this stuff, and I know you do, but sometimes you need a fresh perspective. And sometimes it's nice to have somebody else in your corner. Who's in your corner? The manager normally is worried about all the new people, and they're really not helping you. I can help you. I'll spend time with you, all right? Sometimes maybe you're a little tired and you want somebody else to do the work for you. I'll do the work for you. Let me help you out. Put Tommy in your corner. I'll join your team. I'll help you up. I'll always show up. I'm never sick. I'll always arrive on time. I'm consistent, all right? Okay, let's take some questions. All right, from Mark. I keep getting people in, but when I try to close, I get a lot of resistance. I don't want to be pushy. Will this help me with that? Yes, because you know what? If you ask the right questions, you're not even going to have to close, honestly. And if they get objections, I got over 100 objections on this one site. So I'm going to walk you through the way that I close business. I'm going to share with you the words and language. So yes, if you're having trouble closing the sale, this is going to help you. Sherry says, if I've saved money my whole life, why do I need lifetime income once I retire? Because you can't retire on assets. You've been programmed never to touch your assets. That's why the experts who studied this say, as a minimum, you should be covering your basic living expenses with guaranteed lifetime income. And for the people who hate annuities, how come they don't hate Social Security? How come they don't hate pensions? Those are annuities. And I promise you, if you get a lifetime income annuity, you're going to love it. And by the way, the biggest buyers of lifetime income annuities are people who already own lifetime income annuities. I have a hard time, this is from Antoine, I have a hard time getting people in and sitting in front of me. How am I supposed to use this if I can't get them in the office? Well, because one of the things I talk about is prospecting and marketing. See, you've got to have a good prospecting and marketing system. And if they're not meeting with you, maybe you want to try to have them meet you at Starbucks. That's one of the techniques that I share on here. But without even getting into that, it's all about the words and language. Like, I don't know what you're saying to them on your phone calls, but I will help you with that in this system. So I'd say, give it a try. Emily says, can I just get this free on YouTube? No, this is not free on YouTube. Yes, I have a lot of videos on YouTube, but I don't have this on YouTube. So this is a subscription service, and it's well worth it. You can ask anybody who's on there. We got all kinds of testimonials. We've taken people who've never made MDRT all the way to top of the table on this system. So, you know, all I'm saying is try it. Give it a try. Yvette, so you're saying I can have my customers go through the training before I even sit down with them? Yes. You can rotate an unlimited number of clients. It's called Retire Happy You. This is a system set up just for clients. So there's a training system for you, there's a coaching system for you, and there's a client education system for clients. The client education system is called Retire Happy You. We set it up as part of the public TV special that people who sign up for things, they could go through Retire Happy You. It is very popular, and we've continued it in Tom Hegnan Demand. So Hugh says, I don't think I'll have time to do this. Look, I promise you, you can have time. We all have the same amount of time. You know, not having enough time is a myth. If this is a priority, if making money is a priority to you, if taking care of your customers is a priority to you, if being a top producer is a priority to you, you will find the time, you will make the time to do this. And I'm not saying you need much time. What if you spent 15 minutes? What if I said, if you spend 15 minutes a day with me for the next 3 or 4 months, I can take you to a whole new level? And that's a true statement. I can. But will you spend the 15 minutes? You make it. Put it in your calendar. You've got to put it into your calendar. All right? Miguel, why is it $150 the first month, then only $97 after that? Does the price change? No, the price does not change. It'll stay $97 a month. The reason it's $150 is I'm throwing in all these bonuses. I'm throwing in 3 books. I'm throwing in 3 audiobooks. I'm throwing in the DVD. I had to do this webinar. So look, that's why there's some initial upfront cost for me. So that's why it's $150 upfront, but it's $97 a month thereafter. There's no contract. You can quit whenever you want. Michael, you keep saying words, language, and facts, but will I really be able to tell the stories like you? It's really convincing when you do it, but I feel like I'm acting when I do it. Look, I didn't have time to tell a story about the trip through the desert, but that's in my book, Don't Worry, or Retirement Income Masters, Secrets of the Pros. That was a story by Dick Austin. I have repeated that story thousands and thousands and thousands of times. You can borrow stories. I borrow stories all the time. Think about it. When you're on the golf course and you hear a good joke or something, you take that, and the next time you're playing golf with some other people, you tell that joke. So you've been able to borrow stuff in the past. You can borrow my stories, borrow my words, borrow my language. The whole point is it takes repetition. You do need to practice this. You will need to role play. I would encourage you to role play with somebody, but it will become yours. Especially if you listen to this 3 or 4. Like, I've had people listen to my audiobooks hundreds of times. They say, Tom, I feel like I'm you, because the words just come out of my mouth, and they will for you too. Cindy, I've heard this might not be compatible with my computer at work. Well, that's true. Some work computers, it's not compatible. There are some major companies that put blocking on your internet wherever you go on the internet. So with those companies, this may not work, but it'll work on any personal device, your iPad, your laptop, your MacBook, your iPhone, any internet connected device that's not blocked by some corporate thing, it will work on that. So if the corporate computer doesn't work, any of your personal devices, it will work, okay? So look, that's what the book's all about. And if I didn't get to your question, my staff, they're going to answer it. They're going to send you. You can always email us, info@tomhegna.com, info@tomhegna.com. So look, that's what the book is all about. Every one of those steps has its own chapter. There's a chapter in there, tips for late savers, tips for women, tips for non-traditional couples. There's an entire chapter on life insurance and an entire chapter on those longevity credits. So let me wrap it up this way. I can't tell you if the market's going to go up or if the market's going to go down. I don't know. Are we going to have inflation or are we going to have deflation? I don't know. But I do know this. If you have a plan, if you work a little longer, save a little more. If you cover your basic living expenses with guaranteed lifetime income, if you optimize the rest of your portfolio to protect yourself against inflation, if you maximize your Social Security benefits, have a plan for long-term care, use your home equity wisely, and use life insurance as the most efficient way to pass your wealth to your children, grandchildren, and charities, you and your clients can have a happy and successful retirement based on math and science, not based on some stockbroker's opinion. Thank you very much for attending the webinar today.